Hi there, guys and girls. This is a video reply to the Brusque Poet. Recently had a debate with him on the Fate podcast about MK1, about the egregious shop, and some of the diversity things that are in the game, and the fact that I do call him a shill because he is one. And this video is going to go into that. We had a heated argument, which I apologize for if you're watching because it cuts out the audio. If I'm talking loud, you can't hear him. If he's talking loud, you can't hear me properly. It kind of becomes a bit of a mess. But I'm just going to clear up some things in this video. And I apologize if you hear any noise, like both my neighbors have got construction going on today. So there's that.
Hey, you two, Johnny and Kamal. Get back to work. We got a job to finish here.
Oh, what are you trying to get me, sweetie cakes?
God damn it, Johnny. Cut the bullshit, huh?
Oh, yeah? Why don't you come up here and show me your toolbox? We can go up on the bridge, and I'll throw you off head first. You do a fucking sailor dive. And then I'll join in with you down in the water, and I'll rub all seaweed all over your ass and your neck and shit. Oh, we'll have a good time.
That's it, you two. You're fired.
That guy fired us for no reason.
I don't normally do videos in this room. This is where I used to actually... This used to be my room. I used to have all the Mortal Kombat posters along this wall and everything. That was a long time ago, though. But one of the first things that comes up is Tanya. I bring up that they race swapped Tanya, right? Now, I just want to say something. I'm not the most educated person. I didn't pass high school, man. I'm just going to say it. You know, I never pass high school. However, I know the difference between race and origin. Origin of country and race. And there is a difference. Also, as you can see from these photos right here, that's my mum in front of the pyramids. My family's been to Egypt, man. And my father worked in the Middle East. So, you know, there's that. But Tanya, they changed it. They race swapped her, right? They race swapped her.
They race swapped Tanya? They made her black? Well, she was always
Egyptian.
Black.
She was Egyptian, man.
Where do you think Egypt's in?
Dude, she looked Egyptian.
Where do you think Egypt is in?
No.
It's in fucking Africa, my guy. Do you think there are no black people in Egypt?
It doesn't matter. She looked Egyptian. She had a bob hairstyle.
She's black. Yeah, you can be black and from Egypt.
No, they changed her to a Wakandan African warrior to make her look more that way. They did.
Egypt is in Africa.
It doesn't matter. They changed her look.
hang on, wait. Russ, hang on, wait. Russ, do you think Cleopatra was black?
Do you think you're...
No, I don't.
Black?
Okay.
And no, at the time, no, but at the time, I'm not arguing whether or not.
You just
I
said
never said Cleopatra was black.
No. Yeah, no. What Taylor's saying is true. It's like saying, well, that's because they had created this particular look and style.
Back in the day of Cleopatra, there were no black people in Africa. I mean, I'm sorry, not in black. I'm sorry, Egypt. My bad. In Egypt, yeah, I know the history. I'm not about to argue that Cleopatra was black. I'm not going to argue if Cleopatra was black.
I said Egypt. Are you deaf?
Yeah, I know, but Egypt is in Africa.
It doesn't matter. It's different, man. It's a different look, and you know it. Hello? It's funny because during this argument, I'm trying to make the point that Northern Africans are predominantly Arab in race. So Alexander the Great, you know, conquered Greece, put a guy there, you know, he hooked up, you know, with, you know, someone else, and we got Cleopatra, who's Macedonian and half Persian. Now, if you listen carefully in the podcast, and it was hard to hear, like I said, the Discord thing cutting audio in and out, I said the word Persian. Now, it was mostly cut off, so when I was talking, I didn't know I was doing this. But I did say the word Persian, and that was the point I was trying to get across. The word I kept escaping my mind was the word Arab. I wanted to say that they were Arab in race. Northern Africans, they weren't sub-Saharan, which is, you know, this traditional, more tribal Africans, not Arabs.
Do you think?
Roll clip.
You don't understand the geography.
Where's Hoo Hoo when I need her? And none of you are going to get that. Some of you might. Funny, because as I was struggling to remember the word Arab, I don't know, I just couldn't escape me, like I said at the time. Retro jumps in and he says, do you think Cleopatra was black? To which he answers, no. So he knew the point I was making, but instead he was just going, Egypt's in Africa, my dude. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, don't you know that? When that's the exact thing I said. In fact, in the video, I even said Egyptian several times. I never said Egypt wasn't in Africa. That's a point that you made, not me. And I'm the dropout, man. I'm the guy that's, uneducated apparently. And I knew the difference, and you didn't. So as you can see here, we have some trinkets, some keepsakes from overseas that my parents were away. Here's something from Egypt. Do you know Egypt, man? Do you? Huh? Have you even been to Egypt? I haven't, but my parents have, and they passed on a lot of knowledge and photos. Look at this. African. It's funny that, isn't it? Look at this guy. African. It's funny that, isn't it? Yeah. It's because I know. I know, bro. But you didn't. You didn't know what the fuck Arab culture was. Tanya, clearly Arab from MKX. Clearly. Arab, Persian, Cleopatra, you could say Macedonian, Persian. They clearly made MKX Tanya look that way. And if you look at Rain in this game, they made him look more Egyptian and they swapped Tanya to look more African, like I said, sub-Saharan African. In MKX, she was literally gold. She literally had the black hair and the white eyes and like the bob haircut. She even had all the Egyptian gold and jewelry on her arms. And she had like the gold, the clothes looked gold. Mate, she was based on Cleopatra. Hello. Duh. Finally, the last thing I want to add that before you were even born, man, I was playing a game in 1995 called Command and Conquer, right? Now, in this game, the Nod campaign is centered in Africa, and you literally pick the Egypt region. So, you think I didn't know this shit, man? That wasn't even the argument I made. They race swapped Tanya.
Back so soon? Let's see how you do with something important. For too many years, GDI forces have maintained a stranglehold on Egypt. It's fallen upon us to liberate these citizens crying out for a better way of life. Kane wants to establish a base here to eliminate the smothering presence of GDI. It's too risky to move our heavy forces in, so we want you to sneak in with a few expendable troops and set up a forward attack post. By the way, there's more than enough Tiberium for you to harvest. That should easily pay your expenses. If you are detected, you fail. If you fail, you die.
He then goes on to bring up that I thought Wakanda, because I said they race swapped her to a Wakandan African woman, right? Or warrior, something like that. He then thinks that I think Wakanda is a real place. Now, it's based on a few places, but it's not real. My point was that they made her, Tanya, look like the female Wakandan warriors with the metal rings around their neck, the angry faces. It's on purpose, man. It's strong female diversity, it's all that stuff, and it's right there in plain sight. And when you look at Tanya from MKX, like, it's it's very easy to tell this stuff. Like, you can look at Tanya, MKX, and see. Like, everyone, it's like, it looks like Cleopatra. Like, everybody knows this shit. But you don't seem to get it. And when you look at MK1 Tanya, she looks nothing like that. It's fucking basic shit.
Back it up!
And MK1 Tanya is purely African Wakandan fucking different. They changed it.
Do you think Wakanda? Wait, hold on. Wait, do you know where Wakanda is on the map? Do you know where Wakanda? Do you know where Wakanda is on the map?
That's more diverse crap, man.
Do you know where Wakanda is on the map?
No, I don't. I don't care about DC shit.
Yeah, because Wakanda's not a fucking real country, dumbass.
Marvel shit. Wakanda grew up the back.
Wakanda's not a real country, you fucking retard. What the hell, man? You don't even know what you're talking about. They made her Wakandan. It's not even a real race.
I did say DC when I brought up the Wakanda thing. He said, do I think Wakanda is a real place? I said, I don't care about DC bullshit. I meant to say Marvel bullshit, obviously. I then pivoted in the debate to something that was said to Fade earlier about not being flown out to Evo. And I started to argue about location. Evo's in Vegas, and I thought he was in Los Angeles, and that was my fault. And then I made the argument that he didn't need to be flown out because he could drive there quickly, like in 3 hours. And for some reason, like I said, there was a lot going on and back and forth. He seemed to think that I thought California wasn't a state. He seemed to think that I thought California was a city. I even made the example of Melbourne City and Ballarat being in the same state of Victoria. But because he's not from here, I guess he didn't fucking get it. And he just kept going on about this. It's California! Mate, I set foot in California before you were fucking born. You think I don't know the difference? Hello? I'm 46. You told me in 2006 you weren't born yet, right? That's the first time I went to the United States. So I've been to California before you. I set foot in California before you were even born. And you're going to lecture me that it's a state, not a city. Really? Nice one. I'm so owned. And then on the same subject, I said that, you know, Las Vegas, that's like a 5-minute drive away. No, he doesn't get it. This is like slang. This is like an off-the-cuff remark. I'm not being literal saying you can get there in 5 minutes. You can't even get to the local shops in 5 minutes most of the time. And he kept going on about this. It's not 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes. That was never the point. I was saying it's so close by. It's such a quick trip that it's just up the road. Like, not literally 5 minutes. I thought you were in LA. That's my mistake. You were in the Central Valley or whatever. And I believe the trip from LA to Vegas is roughly 3-4 hours. I said 3 hours. That's what I was talking about. And you just kept going, it's not 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes. Who even thinks, even if you're in LA, who even thinks it's 5 minutes to Evo, to Vegas? Who even thinks that? Like, are you really that dense? Next thing, and like, I'm shocked you didn't know this. Like, this is very obvious stuff. And for someone who promotes Mortal Kombat, I'm surprised you didn't know this about the Dragon Crystals, man. Look. The Premium Edition, sure, it comes with 1250 Dragon Crystals. It comes with the Combat Pack. It actually lists it like this on the back. Premium Edition includes 6 new playable characters, 5 new cameo characters, 1 week early access to DLC characters, Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage, and 1250 Dragon Crystals, brackets, in-game currency. And when you open it up, and you can see from the screenshot here, one of the vouchers does the Combat Pack and the Jean-Claude Van Damme skin, one of the vouchers does the Dragon Crystals, and one of them does Shang Tsung. Like, how do you not know this? It's on the press release. And you're arguing with me about it. Like, no, it's not. It's part of the Combat crap. How do you not know this stuff, man? Like, I'm not even in this game much anymore. I put up the trailers. But you're doing videos constantly about MK1. You're going to the events, and you don't know this shit, man. And I know in the end you went, oh, okay, I'll give you that one. But you argued with me tooth and nail at the start that the combat pack came with 1250 Dragon Crystals, even though on every single press release from Warner Brothers, it never mentions that. It mentions the characters, and that's it. And that's because Dragon Crystals were not part of the combat pack until like a week ago, when they changed it, and now when you buy the combat pack, you get 1250 Dragon Crystals as part of the combat pack. But when the game came out, when people bought it, they didn't get that. Only if they had the premium edition, they got these extra 1250 Dragon Crystals. If you went out and bought the base game and the combat pack, you got ripped off. It's like basic knowledge. We then go back and forth about the shop. You constantly say the same thing. That no mark means free, which is the stupidest thing ever, because it doesn't. There's no way you could know that. There's no way anyone who hasn't played the game or knows anything about Mortal Kombat, some customer just buys the game off the shelf, puts it in, sees in the shop that they can buy skins. There's no indicator that they can be anywhere in the game. There is no way in hell that person is going to know that they can get the skins for free, because there is nothing to say so. Unless they go online, unless they go on Twitter, maybe do a bit of research, then maybe. There is nothing in the shop that indicates this. In fact, having a free item in a paid shop makes it look like you can only buy it. You then give an argument about apples. You say you don't know what it's like in Australia, but here in America, when you buy apples, there's no price on it, because I made the example that when you go into a shop, everything has a price on it. It has to be marked. Right? If something's no price, it doesn't mean it's free. And then you make this counter argument about apples not having a price on it. And here in Australia, apples are marked per kilogram. Whatever the price is per kilo. Whatever, you know. I thought, well, maybe it's not like that in America. So I went online today. I went onto Google and I looked up American supermarket shop fruit apple price. I didn't even add price, right? And I looked through all the photos, and every single photo had per pound how much apples are, which is your imperial system. We use metric, which is kilo. You use pound, which is imperial. Every single picture had the price. So that argument's bullshit. Because in America, it's all marked as well, even if you're buying apples. So I don't know what you were talking about. In fact, I went through all the photos trying to find one photo where there was not a price. And I couldn't find not one. Not one photo of apples being sold with no price. And that's because you have to have a price on something when it's for sale in a shop. Hello. Now the next one, he accuses me of being bought because back in the day, I worked with Midway. Midway gave me screenshots. They gave me renders. I got exclusives. Sometimes got interviews. You know, that I'm just as, you know, possibly as shill as he might be, or he is, right? Mate, he even admits during this debate that he was flown out to the MK11 reveal. I wasn't. I wasn't flown out. I was never flown anywhere by Midway. I was offered one time during the Midway days to be flown out and put into a hotel in Vegas for the reveal of MK vs. DC Universe. However, they would only fly me from the United States to Vegas. So I had to be somewhere within the US to get a free plane trip and accommodation. That's the only time I was offered that by Midway. And I didn't take it because if I went in July, I could play the game. If I went, it was early, I was like April or something. I could get an interview with Ed Boon and we could talk about the game. We could talk about the announcement. And I could look at the casino but that wouldn't serve much of a purpose, would it? Like, I'd get an interview. But if I waited a few months, went in July, I can get hands-on with the E3 build. And that's what I did instead. And as I said to you during the interview, my dad gave me frequent flyer points. I got the flights for free. I paid the accommodation and the spending money. And I came to America in 2008. And I played MK vs. DC Universe. Got some content. Played Hector Sanchez. Interviewed Ed Boon. Great interview. the audio's bad, unfortunately. Awesome interview though. Really appreciate that from the team members. But that doesn't mean I'm paid for, man. Like, I paid for that shit. I paid for all of that crap. And in 2006, again, I got lucky. A work thing. I got the trip for free. I was doing promotions for Nintendo here in Australia for a shop I was working in, a game store. And we were pro Nintendo, so we went for the unveil of the Wii. And I was able to, my boss didn't care. He knew I loved MK, so he said I was fine going off and hanging in the MK booth. And as long as I did both things, it was no problem, right? So in 2006, I didn't pay either. But again, I paid my spending money. I paid some accommodation. And Midway gave me this pass. Now, you could try and make this argument that I was paid for because I got this pass. Because basically the way it worked is, back then, you could go to E3 if you weren't media. If you weren't media, you got in for free. Sorry, you weren't media, you paid to get in. Like $600 or something. $600 or $700, I think, from memory back then in 2006. Because I was media, because I promote the game, I was given a pass. As you can see, guest of Midway. So I got in for free. That was part of being invited, you know, and the fact that you think I'm bought, that doesn't mean shit. I still have to pay my website, pay for everything, do everything, waste all my time, putting up articles and everything, talking about the game, going on forums, making YouTube videos. I worked hard back then, doing all that stuff. And I was never paid for it. In fact, it always blows my mind, because I only found this out about 2 years ago. I was offered partnership in 2006 as a gaming channel on YouTube. Apparently, this was almost impossible to get. They didn't care about gaming channels, and it was almost impossible to get partnered. I got partnered, but because I was in Australia, the ad revenue was just shit house. Like, it was like nothing like today. You get all these ads and clicks and views and everything, and I would maybe get like $100 every year or two, like sometimes year and a half or something. I get a payment. Now I get like $100 like every few months or something, like with my YouTube videos. But that's the work that I put in, and that's, as you know, as a content creator, that's how you make your money. But I'm not for sale, man. I criticised heaps of shit. In the MK versus DC universe, I pretended to hang myself because I thought it was so weird. Literally in the room, I pretended to hang myself. With the whole Shawshank joke, TMK was here. Mate, I was never for sale. This didn't make me for sale, man. I never was given flights or fancy chairs or any of this stuff. And, you know, I don't care that you have that stuff. That does not make you a shill. Me calling you a shill isn't an insult. It's literally means that you deliberately leave out details, or, you know, because you're working with a company, you leave out things that will make them bad or make them toey or that make them not want to work with you. And you leave them out. You know, you only do a few negative things. You pick and choose which negative things, and you don't be overtly negative. Like, even if they do 10 things in a row that are dog shit, like recently, you do a video and call out one of those things and be like, no, see, I do call out stuff. No, you call out the thing that everyone's talking about so they don't get angry. Instead of doing video after video after video with a thumbnail, this is bullshit, this is dog shit, like I did, disgusting, con job by WB Games, you know, you don't go in hard. And that just comes off that you're a shill, man. You're for sale. You've been in photos with Uncaged and Caboose and all those guys. You know them all. And everyone thinks they're shills, man. Because they hardly ever say a bad thing about Mortal Kombat. Even when there's bad shit. Other than the Halloween fatality. Because that was the one thing they picked. That was the one thing they knew Warner was going to change. It wouldn't surprise me if they got a heads up the price is going to change. And then they all did a video going, no, look, see, it's bad. And then they do a counter video straight after it gets changed. Like, Warner, listen to us. Good on them. No. There's still a charge attached to the seasonal fatalities. And it's still bullshit. I ain't paying for finishes. And neither should you, and neither should anybody else. And anybody defending that practice is stupid. And honestly, I've been to so many events, and I'm not flexing, But here's all my Oz Comic Con media badges. As you can see, I've got PAX ones as well. You know, I've got all these. Mate, so when I apply for media badge, this gets me in the door for free. You know? I find it odd that you were invited to Evo and you had to pay for your ticket. And then I find it funny too that after the video went up, someone made this comment saying they saw a video of you online of you complaining you had a red Corvette and you were complaining about having to buy your tickets and you demanded a reimbursement from NRS, which you got, and then you had to take the video down because they reimbursed you so other people wouldn't do it. So there you go. And that makes sense to me. And you might say, oh, I can't believe he thinks that's his source, this random guy on YouTube. If I compare that with the fact that every single event I've ever attended in my life with a pass, with an invite, gets me in, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense that you were invited to Evo and that you had to pay for a ticket. Bullshit. That is bullshit. During the course of this video and this argument, he calls me retard, dumbass, dumb fuck, fuckers, moron, idiot, asshole. You know, the only thing I called him was shill or fucking shill. Maybe I said idiot, I don't know. But you used a lot of name calling, and this is how you seem to want to control the debate. You seem to want to make it a competition. Like, oh, I showed him, I called him an asshole. Do you know what I mean? Like, to validate your points. But it doesn't do anything. You just come off stupid. Because, look, we call you shill. And it's not an insult. But you take it as that. That's on you. Half the time, Retro's making jokes. He calls me smelly Shang Tsung. You know? This is just how Aussies are. Like, even Ketchup and Mustard would know this, because they're from the UK, and a lot of the Aussie, you know, giving each other shit sort of shtick comes from there too. So they probably even know this. And you should know this too. But you go on and on and on, calling Retro toxic and criticizing him for talking about your nails and all this shit. But you do the same shit in this video, sorry. You interrupt. You interrupted more than I did, and I admit, I interrupted too. We both did. But you interrupted more than I did. You called me asshole, retard, all this shit. And I'm a big boy, I don't care. I've had death threats on this platform, man. You know, so, I don't care. But you are the one that says Retro is toxic for doing these things. You do the same shit. But the difference between Retro and me and you have a big audience. And no one cares because you're famous, right? And we're irrelevant. So you can punch down and no one will question you about it. And we punch up and you react and say that we're morons and we're hateful. I'm not hateful. Retro makes more jokes than I do, and he's not hateful either. But you know, you need to understand that he has his own beliefs and things, and he doesn't necessarily want to just accept the way things are these days. Some of these things are just weird. You know? You call us toxic when you are the same. Do you not see that? It's just because the shills are protected and the haters aren't. The haters are put down. The shills are put on a pedestal. Like, oh my God, bro. Do you know what I mean? I've had people come up to me, oh my God, TMK. I've signed autographs. Very rarely, but, you know, it's nice. I get it. It's fine. But the difference is that if you're going to accuse me of being hateful or toxic or retro, but take a look in the mirror, because you're doing the same thing. But the difference is you think you can get away with it because we're irrelevant. But when we call you out, you jump in the chat and react. I'm basically just going to finish this with, you know, I've used a few movie clips during this video, but there's a great one. The movie The Score. Robert De Niro and Edward Norton. They want to rip off a place. It's heavily guarded, has a safe. They want this scepter that's worth a whole bunch of money. And De Niro is an old hand. He's done it before. He's an expert. He's wise. He's old and wise. And Edward Norton finds this score, he brings it to De Niro, he thinks he's better, and he tries a bait and switch at the end, only to get spanked by De Niro because he's older and wiser. You are very arrogant. You think you know everything. You think you can hide things that are, you know, not public, so you're like, you have no proof, you know, when you know it's true, you know. And I don't even have to prove anything. You know why? Because I've been doing YouTube since 2006, Mortal Kombat since 92. And people respect that. They respect my knowledge of the game. You know? Even if I do come across as a bit of a fuckwit at times. They respect that. So when I say something, they believe it. And I don't lie. Show me where I've lied. Because I don't believe in that. I believe in being honest and truthful. So that's it. You know? You want to make videos saying we dogpiled you when you literally join the chat and say, I don't care. I don't care. To bring him in. Bring in Total. Bring in the Jaded Rabbit. I don't care. And then you put up a video saying, I got dogpiled. You're a clickbaiter, man. That is proof. That is proof you're a clickbaiter. You even say during this video at one part, I'm not a clickbaiter. Yes, you are. That's proof. Right there. And then you say, I was flying out to the reveal. Were you there? No. You paid off, Mr. Shill. Because that's what you are. You a shill. You a shill, bro. And that's fine. But you a shill.
Bus to Albany, New York. Leaves in 5.
Yep.
Hey, did you make it?
Fuck you.
Come on, I'm just checking to make sure you got out okay. I knew you'd give him the slip.
Dojo Blues, Albany, New York.
I'm almost home too here, by the way.
Oh, you are, huh? You sure about that?
Oh, look, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're trying, just forget it, okay? This is over now, and you just gotta deal with it.
It's not over yet, because you don't know where you're going, asshole, and I do know where you're going.
You don't know shit.
You know where you're going?
You don't know shit. I'm like 5 minutes from being so far gone, you're not even gonna be able to imagine the places I'm going, okay?
You're going nowhere, because you got nothing.
You know what I got. You just can't deal with the fact that I beat you.
Oh, yeah? What have you got? Huh? What have you got?
You know what I've got.
Let me ask you something, Jack. When did you start thinking you were better than me? Huh? You still there, Ace?
Okay. Nicely done. Nicely done. Now let's talk about this.
Okay, let's see. How'd you put it? Deal with it? It's over?
No. I don't think so. You want me to list the ways I can burn you? We either work this out right now or I will take you down.
Oh, yeah? How? My shop, my tools, they're gone. Me, my friend, I'm just a tax-paying jazz club owner. You, every cop in the city's gonna be looking for you right about now.
So if I were you, I'd quit making threats and hit the road. Nice working with you, Ace.
Okay, bye-bye.